Alright, let's talk about something that'll blow your mind. We all know China's big. Big country, big population, big everything. But have you ever thought about their fish? I'm not talking about a guy with a rod and reel, I'm talking about fish farming on a scale that's almost unbelievable. We're talking billions, folks, billions of dollars. Every single day, some estimates suggest this industry is raking in cash hand over fist, or should I say, fin over fin. It's an aquatic gold rush. Happening right now, largely out of sight for most of us. You hear numbers like world's largest producer thrown around a lot. But for aquaculture, China isn't just the largest, they dominate. They practically invented the modern mega scale of it all. Think about this, more than 60% of all the farmed fish in the entire world comes from China. That's a staggering piece of the global seafood pie. It's not just about feeding their own massive population, though that's a big part of it. It's about a global market, and they are the heavyweight champions, no contest. So stick with me because we're going to dive deep into how China makes these incredible sums from their underwater farms. Now before we get too far down the fish hole, let's clear something up. What exactly is fish farming? You hear the term aquaculture and it sounds fancy, but at its heart, it's pretty simple. Think of it like farming, but instead of cows in a field or chickens in a coop, you've got fish in water. These aren't wild fish you're hoping to snag with a lucky cast. These are fish being raised, managed, and harvested in controlled environments. It's agriculture, just wetter. These controlled environments can look a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's good old-fashioned ponds, dug out of the earth, teeming with life. Other times, you'll see massive tanks, often indoors where every drop of water is monitored. And along the coasts you'll find huge net pens or cages, floating in the ocean or big lakes packed with fish. The idea is the same. Provide the fish with everything they need, food, clean water, protection from predators, so they can grow big and healthy. The process usually starts with tiny little fish, called fry, or fingerlings. These little guys are often hatched in special facilities, kind of like fish nurseries. Then, they're moved to a grow-out area. That could be a pond, a tank, or one of those cages I mentioned. So, why is China so darn good at this fish farming gig? You might think it's all modern tech and government plans. And yeah, that's part of it, a big part we'll get to. But the truth is, China's been doing this for a very, very long time. We're talking thousands of years, folks. While the rest of the world was figuring out how to plant wheat, the ancient Chinese were already cultivating carp in ponds. It's in their DNA, practically. Legend has it that a smart fellow named Fan Li, way back in the 5th century BC, wrote the first known treatise on fish farming. He wasn't just raising fish for dinner, he was thinking about it as a business. He understood the principles of pond design, stocking densities, and even how to make a profit. So, this isn't some new fad for them. It's a tradition, refined over countless generations, passed down from father to son, mother to daughter. That kind of ingrained knowledge gives you a heck of a head start. Now fast forward to more recent times, the Chinese government saw this ancient practice not just as a food source but as a massive economic opportunity, and a way to feed its enormous population, so they threw their weight behind it. Ever wondered what a day on one of these mega fish farms in China actually looks like? It ain't a leisurely day by the fishing hole, I can tell you that. It's an early start, often before the sun even thinks about peeking over the horizon. The first order of business is usually checking on the fish. Are they active? Are they feeding well? Any signs of trouble? These farmers develop a sixth sense for the health of their underwater livestock, noticing subtle changes that could mean big problems if ignored. Then comes feeding time, and we're not talking a sprinkle of flakes from a pet store can. On these large-scale operations, feeding is a major logistical undertaking. Trucks might deliver tons of specialized fish feed. Some farms use automated feeders, programmed to dispense precise amounts at specific times. Others rely on workers broadcasting feed across vast ponds from boats or along the banks. The goal is to get the right amount of nutrition to millions, sometimes tens of millions of hungry mouths. It's a constant, demanding rhythm. And water quality? That's king. You can have the best feed and the healthiest fingerlings, but if the water isn't right, you're sunk. Section 5. Show me the money. How fish farming floods China's economy. Alright, let's talk about the green stuff. The moolah, the big bucks. Because China's fish farming industry isn't just about putting food on the table, it's a colossal economic engine. We touched on the staggering revenues earlier, but let's break down how that money actually ripples through the country. First off, you've got the direct sales of all those fish, shrimp, crabs, and shellfish. That alone pumps hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy every year. It's a significant slice of their agricultural GDP, no doubt about it. But the impact doesn't stop at the farm gate. Think about all the jobs this industry creates. We're talking millions of people. You've got the farmers themselves, of course, the ones doing the daily grind. But then, there are the folks working in hatcheries, producing the billions of tiny fry. There are people manufacturing the feed, the nets, the pumps, the aeration systems. Scientists and technicians are working on research and development, trying to breed better fish or fight diseases. It's a whole ecosystem of employment. And then there's the downstream stuff. Once those fish are harvested, they need to be processed, packaged, and transported. Section 6, Future Fish, the high-tech wonders of Chinese aquaculture. Now, if you're picturing Chinese fish farming as just a bunch of guys in straw hats working muddy ponds, you're missing a big piece of the puzzle. While tradition is strong, this industry is also rocketing into the 21st century with some seriously impressive technology. They're not just farming more fish, they're farming smarter fish, and that innovation is key to their continued dominance and the mind-boggling scale of their operations. It's where old wisdom meets cutting-edge science. Take something called recirculating aquaculture systems, or RAS for short. These are often indoor closed-loop systems where water is continuously filtered and reused. Think of it like a high-tech aquarium on steroids. This allows for precise control over water quality, temperature, and biosecurity. It means you can grow fish almost anywhere, regardless of the local climate, and use a fraction of the water traditional ponds might need. China is investing heavily in RAS, especially for high-value species. It's a game-changer for efficiency and sustainability. Then there's integrated multi-trophic aquaculture, or IMTA. Now this sounds complicated, but the idea is pretty neat. It's like creating a little ecosystem where the waste from one species becomes food for another. So you might have fish in cages, and underneath them you cultivate seaweed which absorbs excess nutrients from the fish waste. Section 7. From tiny fry to big fryer, real stories from the water's edge. It's one thing to talk about billions of dollars in high-tech systems, but what about the actual fish and the people who raise them? Let's get specific. Take tilapia, for example. It's one of the most widely farmed fish globally, and China is the undisputed king of tilapia production. Provinces like Guangdong and Hainan are hotspots with vast areas dedicated to these hardy, fast-growing fish. You'll see countless ponds, often family-run businesses that have scaled up over the years, supplying both domestic and international markets. Then there are the carp. Carp farming, as we mentioned, has a history stretching back millennia in China. Species like grass carp, silver carp, and bighead carp are staples. They're often raised in polyculture systems, meaning different types of carp that feed on different things are grown together in the same pond. This maximizes the use of the pond's natural productivity. Imagine a farmer in Jiangsu province tending to ponds that his family has perhaps worked for generations, adapting ancient techniques with modern know-how. It's a living tradition. And it's not just finfish. China is also the world's largest producer of farm shrimp. Section 8. Net gains and growing pains, the big catch for tomorrow. So, we've seen how China has built this colossal fish farming empire. It's a story of ancient wisdom, massive scale, government support, and increasingly incredible innovation. The economic benefits are undeniable: billions in revenue, millions of jobs, and a crucial role in global food security. By farming fish, China helps feed its own people and the world, while also easing the pressure on wild fish stocks, which, let's be honest, have been taking a beating for decades. That's a pretty big net gain if you ask me. But like any industry this massive, especially one that interacts so closely with the environment, there are growing pains. In the past, rapid expansion sometimes led to problems: water pollution from excess feed and waste, habitat concerns, and overuse of antibiotics in some areas. The good news is, there's a growing awareness of these issues, both within China and globally. The push now is towards more sustainable and environmentally friendly practices. Think stricter regulations, better farm management, and the adoption of those cleaner technologies we talked about like RAS and IMTA. Looking ahead, the future of Chinese fish farming is likely to be even more high-tech and hopefully more green. Expect to see more investment in offshore aquaculture, moving farms further out to sea where there's more space and potentially less environmental impact on coastal zones. We'll see continued advancements in genetics, feed formulation, and disease control. Artificial intelligence and big data will play an even bigger role in optimizing every aspect of the operation, from hatch to harvest. The goal is to produce more, but to do it better and smarter.